outside. He's got the first down and out of bounds close to the 10-yard line. A nice move by Roth on the left side, faked the pass, and then continued to roll. Made a move to the inside, went outside, and gave him some good yardage.
Well, what happened there, Harry, he just froze that secondary, defensive secondary. They expected him. Take a look at this. Watch how everybody just freezes in their tracks there. There's nobody around him. Good move.
A good 15-yard run.
That was very good.
For a first down for Chad Roth. He's a junior, a senior, 160 pounds. Flips back to Castillo, and touchdown. Castillo is in for the touchdown. A 9-yard run for Mike Castillo, and the Cardinals are on the board. The Cardinal fans love it.
Hear that? Listen to that. 6:33 left in the third quarter. They're going crazy.
It's 7-6. Well, it's the first time in a while they really had something to cheer about. And this is an opportunity. Are they going to go for one, or are they going to go for two? Let's see what Coach Hernandez calls.
I think they're going for two. No, they're going to set up the kick.
Okay, back to boot. Jose Gutierrez. The kick is up. And it's good. We have a tie football game. It's Glendale 7, Sunnyslope 7. We'll be back with more exciting football from Glendale High School right after this.
When it comes to defining value, Larry Miller Chrysler Plymouth Mazda in Glendale means double value. Double your value with the best of both imports and domestics. Twice the selection. Twice the savings. Twice the luxury. And twice the fun. And service? Double it. Service and parts are open 6 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Double value. Larry Miller Chrysler Plymouth Mazda, the value store.
Back to school means back to band at Arizona Music Center, your one-stop music store, serving the Valley since 1960. Whether you're in a school band or just like music, Arizona Music Center is the place for lessons, musical instruments, sheet music, rentals, repairs, supplies, and music videos. For more information, call 934-3273 or visit Arizona Music Center, 4734 West Glendale Avenue.
Well, the Cardinals needed that score, and it was a good time to do it. They had the ball at the 26. They marched in to score. It's a 7-7 ball game, and maybe momentum will come over to the side of the Cardinals in this game, and they'll come off with a victory.
Now it'll be up to Glendale's defense to stop them, get that ball back, prevent Sunnyslope from scoring.
There's the boot. See if they hand off this time. They do. And give the ball to Waring. There's a flag thrown. Well, that was the second time they handed the ball off to Waring, and Waring has run the ball back almost every time. Let's take a look at the touchdown again. Mike Castillo, 160 pounds, senior. Watch this. No, this is the run. This is the run by Roth, which led up to the touchdown. That was the play before it. A good move by Roth.
That was worth seeing again.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if it wasn't for that run, they would have lost the football on a fourth down play.
That was a very gutsy call by the coach.
Now the penalty against Sunnyslope. Half the distance to the goal line. And holding 10 yards against the Vikings.
Now Glendale.
So first and 10 inside the 15.
Cardinals got to stop them here, and they're showing blitz.
Handoff.
It's another fumble.
Bounced around. We'll see what the referee says. See if he says it was down. He does. He says the ball was down. Bounced around later. The handoff went absolutely nowhere to Lowell Howard. Vikings have turned the ball over 29 times this year, 8 times last week, 4 times so far this week. and a loss of a yard to Lowell Howard, who here in the second half has minus 6 yards after having 113 in the first half.
Showing blitz again, Harry.
Oh, there's offsides. Moving a little too quick. Mike Turry. There's a touchdown. Look at that move outside. In for the touchdown by Mike Castillo. Well, a 5-yard penalty now makes it 2nd down and 6. 5 yards against the Cardinals. Coming wide right for Sunnyslope. Troy Smiley, number 40, and the handoff into the line for a 1st down. Willis, good move. 9 yards for Willis. He now has 32 yards and 6 carries.
We're looking at basically the same plays that Glendale is facing on defense, and they're just not stopping them all of a sudden. They need to tighten up once again, stop them from getting those 5-6 yard gains. They got to do it now.
At the 26, this is where they fumbled. See if the Vikings continue to move the football. Well, again, a slant, but again, into the line for a gain.
But
this time the ball, Lowell Howard.
Defense making good use of their front line, their defensive secondary helping out on that play. That's what you need more of. They picked up 5 yards. They got to put the pressure on that quarterback, show the blitz. Unnerves him somewhat, it seems.
Well, Howard has carried 19 times, 112 yards. 2nd and 5 from the 31. And again into the line, another handoff for a short gain. Willis up to the 35-yard line, picks up 4.
One thing that they're doing is showing the blitz, and that's confusing Sunnyslope at this point right here. If they keep that up, they're going to get the ball back and have another opportunity to score.
3rd down and 2.
Let's see if they show it again, Harry. See if they put the pressure on.
A little bit of stunting going on. And an offensive movement on the line. Number 65 came off the line immediately. That was Kenny Hill. So it'll push him back 5 yards.
That's not the Kenny Hill of the Giants, is it?
Well, they've got 3rd down now and 7 yards to go for a 1st down.
Again, they're being confused by Glendale. That's something that they didn't do the first time around that we saw them that they're doing now. And that's being very effective against Sunnyslope, throwing their timing way off.
This is something that Arizona State did effectively 10, 12 years ago in the days of Frank Kush. A lot of defensive stunting. You might call a little bit of red dogging.
You like that? I like that. It's exciting.
It makes the offense do something. Here's a nice complete pass out of the backfield. Enough for the 1st down to Lowell Howard. And they pick up 9 yards, 1st down. That's only the 2nd completed pass.
That's a way to stop all that stunting. Sunnyslope is averaging 2.7 yards per carry tonight. Almost double that, actually double that, 5.5 yards per carry.
From the 39-yard line, it's 1st and 10. There's a look at the pass again. You see where he stepped out of bounds at the 39. Rolling, rolling, rolling. It's a keeper? Nope. On the veer. Handoff on the option to Tim Willis. And Willis crosses the 45 to the 46, picks up 7 yards. Willis chunking away a few yards here and there. He's up to 43 yards and 8 carries.
Well, they had him stopped for a very, very short gain, and then he pitched it off. Glendale was in on it. They read that play pretty well.
2nd and 3. The Vikings are now over 200 yards total offense. They're at 201. 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's 7-7. Back to Willis. Willis close to the 50, loses the football. Glendale recovers 1st and 10 inside Sunnyslope territory at the 48. Well, Tim Willis a fumble. That's the 5th turnover by the Sunnyslope Vikings. Let's take a look at this one again. There's a flip back to Willis.
And he got hit real hard. Watch the hit. There it is.
Right around the neck, a clothesline tackle.
That was close.
And he lost the football because someone else hit him in the arm.
He was fumble was picked up by Robert Ramirez.
1st and 10 for the Cardinals. They're in Sunnyslope territory at the 48-yard line, looking straight down the 50. Roth is still in there. He's rolling, looking downfield. Complete. A beautiful pass threaded right where it had to be to Mike Castrovinci. 1st down at the 35-yard line.
And he was covered fantastic by 51 Fitzgerald. It's just the pass was just so well thrown.
He had to thread that one in between the 2 layers of defense. Now watch this.
Watch this.
There's a seam in there where he throws that football. Nice soft touch. You see the layer of defense in front of and behind the receiver, and Castrovinci held on to it for a 1st down at the 35. Again, rolling right. Roth, it's tipped up. Nobody there to get the football, but it was a big rush, and it was set to be that way. He wanted to throw it quickly over the middle, have all the linemen come in, and have no one there to block, and that's exactly what happened.
It was blocked by one of the ends, Mark Nally, and he got his big paw up there and did what he had to do, kicked it up in the air, but nobody was around it to pick it off.
2nd down and 10 from the 35. Roth has now hit 3 out of 7, and the Glendale Cardinals have a little problem getting the play set, so they call a timeout with 1 minute 32 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's Glendale 7, Sunnyslope 7. Back with more football after this.
Why should you read the Glendale Star? The Star will keep you informed about the issues that affect you and your community. You can meet some of the interesting people who live and work in Glendale through the Glendale Star. Keep up to date on what's happening in Glendale with the Glendale Star, the official newspaper for the city of Glendale. Every Wednesday and Friday from Pueblo Publishers. Pick up a copy today. The Glendale Star.
Of all the Japanese cars serviced by AMCO dealers, half drive away not needing a new transmission. Luck? Skill. To spot the small problems that look like big ones takes experience, and lots of it. In fact, to find a transmission specialist who's fixed more Japanese cars than AMCO, you'd probably have to take your car all the way to Japan. And they don't offer towing.
AMCO, AA, MCO.
Well, there's a different kind of football uniform. There you go. A Harley boy. Yeah, we used to play a funny game of football with our bicycles. Never did it on motorcycles. You know, we used to play bicycle, and if you touched the guy, he was down. So if you were a good bicycle rider, you can get away. But trying to catch a football on a bicycle was not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, we played, ever played donkey basketball or donkey baseball?
Yeah, that was fun too.
I know, not all the donkeys were the players.
True.
Or the donkeys.
All right, 2nd down and 10 from the 35. Roth looking, being rushed, and again in between the seam, a complete pass to the 10-yard line to Mark Drain. 25 yards to Drain.
Again, he was well covered, Harry, and just another good pass. There's not much that they can do about it. Sunnyslope, if they want to stop him on this, has got to put a little bit more pressure, much like they did on in the first half, but they're just not doing it this time.
First
Take a look
and
at
goal
it.
from the 10. Let's watch this one again. Now watch again in between the seam for the defense. There it is. You see the defenders in front and behind, and he threw it perfect. There's Roth, 4 out of 8, 60 yards. Roth Flips the ball back, and oh, gee, he was caught right away. Mike Castillo, they tried the same play they scored the touchdown on last time they were down here, and this time a loss of 4 yards. Well, they mark it even back farther than that. At the 15, a loss of 5.
Yeah, Don Hagen, defensive tackle, also sometime place kicker, I guess, was in on that. He read that perfectly.
So you now have a 2nd and goal at the 15-yard line.
Little confusion for Sunnyslope right now, showing blitz.
Rolling right. Roth throwing to the end zone. Drain alone. Touchdown. The Cardinals take the lead.
Yeah,
the crowd just gone wild.
Hey, they love it. They can smell their first victory of the season. Only got 1 quarter to go.
They're looking for it. Let's watch this one again. Rolling right, there's Roth. Throwing to the end zone. There's Drain. He led him perfectly.
Nice pass.
With 18 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter, it's now 13-7. Gutierrez getting ready for the extra point. There's a snap, the boot, it's up, and it's good. With 18 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, it's Glendale 14, Sunnyslope 7. Back with more right after this.
To San Chevrolet's giant monster clearance sale. Over 400 new cars and trucks, all monster clearance priced, all available with no down payment. Like 30 new Geo Metro Spectrums and S10 pickups. Your choice, $69.95, $139 a month. New 89 Camaros and Berettas from $99.95. Even Astro vans and full-size 4x4s from $199 a month. All no down payment. Or get up to $750 cash back. Don't miss this giant monster clearance only till dark Monday at San Chevrolet Yugo, the heartbeat of Arizona.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Big Tex, Big Bill's little cousin, and this here's my son, Billy Joe Bob. And we're here to tell you that Big Bill's got wheels. Lots of wheels. Custom wheels for cars, trucks, man. Dang near everything. Ain't that right, son? Good-looking boy, isn't he? Why, I've never seen so many wheels in one place, and they're all right here at Big Bill's Deals and Wheels. Tell them about it, Billy Joe Bob. God, a boy's smart, isn't he? Come on now to Big Bill's Deals and Wheels to see me, Big Tex, my cousin Big Bill, or my son, Billy Joe Bob. And I guarantee you this ain't no bill.
Big Bill's Deals and Wheels.
This is Al McCoy, and let me introduce you to Max's, the place for good sports, good food, and good friends. The private banquet room at Max's is home for alumni and booster groups, even wedding receptions. But for you sports fans, Max's is special. Whatever sports is in season, you'll see them all. Over 150 live TV sporting events each week. Max's is the home of the world's largest football helmet display. Bring your appetite for lunch and dinner with the best pork tenderloin sandwich west of Iowa. Max's, 47th Avenue, a block south of Glendale.
18 seconds left, 14-7. Glendale leads. Now it's time for the defense to definitely stiffen up. Sunnyslope scored first on the first drive. Since then, nothing. Deep for the Vikings. Again, let's see if they hand it off, and they do to Waring. Waring up the middle, finds a big hole, finally brought down across the 35 at the 36-yard line. Boy, each time the ball went to Ryan Bilbrey, number 20, he always handed it off to Waring on the kickoffs or the punts.
Well, you can do that. Let's
look at this again. There it is, the handoff to Waring. Waring goes up the middle. He almost breaks it right there, and then finally brought down to the 36, 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
Glendale set up expecting a pass.
Rolling, a keeper by Bilbrey. He picks up a yard. Chad Bilbrey, 1 yard. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Glendale 14, Sunnyslope 7. Back with the 4th quarter right after this.
When it comes to defining value, Larry Miller Chrysler Plymouth Mazda in Glendale means double value. Double your value with the best of both imports and domestics. Twice the selection. Twice the savings. Twice the luxury. And twice the fun. And service? Double it. Service and parts are open 6 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Double value. Larry Miller Chrysler Plymouth Mazda, the value store.
Back to school means back to band at Arizona Music Center, your one-stop music store, serving the Valley since 1960. Whether you're in a school band or just like music, Arizona Music Center is the place for lessons, musical instruments, sheet music, rentals, repairs, supplies, and music videos. For more information, call 934-3273 or visit Arizona Music Center, 4734 West Glendale Avenue.
The Glendale defense. See if they can hold them. 1st and 10 for Sunnyslope. Chad Roth now, the quarterback. He's also a safety. He is 5 out of 9 for Glendale, including a touchdown pass. All right, 2nd down and 9. Opening the 4th quarter. Chad Bilbreed, quarterback. Hands off to Lowell Howard. Howard was the man that had the big yards earlier. There's a flag thrown in the Glendale defense. Might be a personal foul against Glendale. A 5-yard gain by Lowell Howard. Personal foul against Glendale.
Well, Glendale can't afford foolish fouls like that. Anytime you do that at any level of sports, that's foolish.
That'll do it to them. It'll give the Vikings a 1st down.
Because they had a good shot at stopping them. Taking a look at a couple of the peace officers here. I like that word better.
Yes, taking care of the crowd. Here comes a penalty. 5 yards. 10 yards. 15 yards on the personal foul. 1st down.
Now that's costly for Glendale because instead of 3rd and long, now they've got a 1st down.
6th penalty against Glendale. They've been penalized now 70 yards. 13th 1st down for the Vikings. 1st and 10 now in Glendale territory at the 42. Handoff into the line. Tim Willis. Willis takes a big chunk of real estate, picks up 6 yards.
Well, they seem to be running right at number 54, one of the linebackers and stuff on his side of the field where they're getting those big holes.
Robert Ramirez, the defender.
He needs to be in on there because they're running right at him.
2nd and 4 at the 37. Oh, there it is. Howard all the way in for the touchdown. From the 36-yard line. Howard all the way as we take a look at the head coach of the Glendale Cardinals. Tom Hernandez not happy about the defenders allowing that to happen. Let's take a look at this one again.
Watch where the defense broke down on this.
From the 36, there's a flip back.
They thought they had stopped him.
Howard all the way. And the boot by Bilbrey is up. And it's good. And it's a tie football game with 10 minutes, 54 seconds remaining. It's tied at 14. We'll be back with more right after this.
You are. The Star will keep you informed about the issues that affect you and your community. You can meet some of the interesting people who live and work in Glendale through the Glendale Star. Keep up to date on what's happening in Glendale with the Glendale Star, the official newspaper for the city of Glendale. Every Wednesday and Friday from Pueblo Publishers. Pick up a copy today. The Glendale Star.
Of all the Japanese cars serviced by AMCO dealers, half drive away not needing a new transmission. Luck? Skill. To spot the small problems that look like big ones takes experience, and lots of it. In fact, to find a transmission specialist who's fixed more Japanese cars than AMCO, you'd probably have to take your car all the way to Japan. And they don't offer towing.
AMCO, AA, MCO.
There's the boot opening up the next set for the Glendale Cardinals, taken by Drain. And Drain still moving, didn't want to give up as he crossed the 25-yard line, and they said his forward motion crossed the 30. They're going to mark it at the 32. So the Cardinals now had a short-lived lead of 7 points. It's tied at 14. It ain't over yet. We have 10 minutes, 27 seconds.
Well, now, you know, Sunnyslope, they want that ball back for their offense to score. They're going to try to force Glendale into a turnover. So they're going to set up deep, look for a pass because they know they've had some success on it.
21 carries for Lowell Howard for Sunnyslope. He's got 153 yards. Rolling right, Roth, he's going to keep it. And he's knocked out of bounds across the 35-yard line. They mark him out close to the 38. Let's see the exact position. They're at the 37-yard line. Picked up 5.
Again, Sunnyslope was set up taking a look at this, looking for the pass, and he kept it on the bootleg.
193 yards total offense for Glendale, 251 for Sunnyslope, and 153 of that is Lowell Howard on the ground and 9 in the air.
Fumble.
Fumble at the line. Roth picks it up. He has to eat the football for no gain.
There's some good hitting again going on down there, Harry, on both sides. Sunnyslope's, the Vikings, they're doing some big hitting, causing that type of fumble.
All right, it's going to be 3rd down and a short 5. About 4.5 for the first down. 9.5 minutes left in our football game. With a 3rd down move, let's see what the Cardinals can do here. Execution, that's what it's all about. Quick pass. It's thrown short. It was intended for Mike Castillo. Would have been a first down right there. Incomplete. Roth now hit 5 out of 10. See what they do here on a 4th down. If Gutierrez actually boots the football. Good time for a fake. Might hurt them at the field position, but might let them get something going here. No, they're going to boot it. Coming to the near sideline and taken there by Waring. Waring fights his way up from the 30 to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the Vikings in a tie football game.
Well, here Glendale's got to tighten up. They're in good field position for Sunnyslope. Better field position for Glendale if they get the ball back. Tom Hernandez.
Head coach Tom Hernandez talking to his offensive line. When they get the football back, he can smell a victory here if they can get the ball back one more time. Handoff. First man into the line, Willis. And Willis picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down.
That's what Glendale has got to do all the time, or as many times as they can. Stop them for those short gains like that, and they're going to stop them on downs.
So it'll be 2nd down and 8. Take a look, one of our cameramen here, and our vantage point on Republic Cable, right in the middle of the stands at the 50-yard line on the home field side. Motion on the line by the Vikings, number 41. The tight end, Kevin Dyer, moved before the snap. 5 yards marked off against the Vikings. So it's going to be 2nd down and 13.
Come on, get ahead!
Vikings would like to get back down and score. The Cardinals would like to stop them and win a home game. Fake on the first handoff, flip outside to Howard. Howard has the first down. He's breaking loose again and finally brought down at the 25-yard line. A big run, close to 40 yards. We'll see they mark him out of bounds at the 30. 34-yard run. Let's take a look at this one again.
You can see where Glendale's defense just totally broke down. And he was stopped on the play by Steve Fink, safety number 85.
15th first down.
And
handoff into the line and nowhere for Tim Willis. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 30. Seven minutes, 35 seconds remaining in our football game. If it's tied in Arizona playoff, each team gets 4 downs. There's Lowell Howard, 22 carries, 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rolling on the option, Howard kicks the football on the handoff, and it's recovered by the Vikings about 7 yards downfield.
Again, Glendale had a good opportunity to pick that up.
Recovered by offensive tackle Tim Mayfield. Well, it's a 6-yard move. Mayfield recovers on the fumble.
That's an RP7, Harry. Take a look at this. Look at that. Nowhere.
Look at that.
Nobody's home.
And it was kicked for a 7-yard gain.
Like I said, it's an RP7. Maybe it's a 3.
The 3rd down and 3 after the first play didn't go anywhere. Handoff into the line, not enough for the first down.
Now that was good grunt football there. You like to see that. The defensive line pushed them back. Didn't give any.
Oh, Howard gets 3 yards and they're going to have a 4th down and short. .307 total offensive yards and a 4th down and 2 from the 22. The Vikings are going to keep 2 wide receivers on the left side.
Showing blitz once again.
Bilbrey
got him.
Caught behind the line, fights forward, gets a first down. He was caught behind the line of scrimmage, continued to move his feet, and crosses the 20-yard line for a first down at the 19.
Boy, I thought they had him there.
The Cardinals are trying to say he did not make it. Referees are calling a timeout. They want to measure.
It's going to be close, Harry. It'll be real close for a first down.
Well, it looked like they marked the football back a little bit, so he might have bounced when he finally hit the ground. But he fought forward. He was caught 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, close to the 25. And then he fought forward and crossed the 20. He's at the 19. First down by the nose of the football. A 3-yard run by Bilbrey after all that motion.
Glendale coaches on the sideline are yelling at the officials. They were not pleased with the marking of the ball.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 at the 19 for the Vikings. Bilbrey keeps it again. They use the veer offense. Good chance for the option on that one, and it's worked a couple of times. This time Bilbrey kept it and gained a yard. It's going to be 2nd down and 9 from the 18.
Good play by Mark Drain once again. We've been calling his number quite a bit. He's been in on quite a few tackles, a lot of solo tackles. Good ball player.
16 first down for the Vikings. The Cardinals have 11. It's a 14-14 ball game. Wide left, Freed, number 88.
Showing blitz again.
Handoff up the middle, all along, touchdown. Lowell Howard with his 3rd touchdown in the ball game. and not one Glendale Cardinal was anywhere near it. 4:45 remaining.
Well, one thing that happened there, Harry, pretty obvious. The defense showed blitz, and the quarterback was smart enough if he was able to audible out of it and fool them completely. Look at this. Nowhere.
Nobody near him. Here comes Bilbrey's kick. The snap. The boot is up. It is good. With 4 minutes, 45 seconds remaining now in the football game, it's Sunnyslope 21, Glendale 14. Back with more right after this.
To San Chevrolet's giant monster clearance sale. Over 400 new cars and trucks, all monster clearance priced, all available with no down payment. Like 30 new Geo Metro Spectrums and S10 pickups. Your choice, $69.95, $139 a month. New 89 Camaros and Berettas from $99.95. Even Astro vans and full-size 4x4s from $199 a month, all no down payment. Or get up to $750 cash back. Don't miss this giant monster clearance only till dark Monday at San Chevrolet Yugo, the heartbeat of Arizona.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Big Tex, Big Bill's little cousin, and this here's my son, Billy Joe Bob. And we're here to tell you that Big Bill's got wheels. Lots of wheels. Custom wheels for cars, trucks, vans. Dang near everything. Ain't that right, son? Good-looking boy, isn't he? Why, I've never seen so many wheels in one place, and they're all right here at Big Bill's Deals Wheels. Tell them about it, Billy Joe Bob. The boy's smart, isn't he? Come on now to Big Bill's Deals Wheels to see me, Big Tex, my cousin Big Bill, or my son, Billy Joe Bob. And I guarantee you this ain't no bill.
Big Bill's Deals and Wheels.
Another shot of the crowd here at Glendale High. Good-sized crowd.
Well, the Cardinals had something to cheer about for a short time. And the Vikings have come back to take the lead 21-14.
Does Lowell have 200 yards yet?
He's got 208 yards.
Amazing.
The total offense for Sunnyslope, 329 yards. Kick to Glendale, comes up short. Taken by one of the up men for the Cardinals, number 86, Eddie Williamson. He's a junior, 135 pounds. And Williamson comes across the 35-yard line to the 37. Here's a look at Williamson.
Well, now the task that's ahead of Sunnyslope, obviously, is to prevent Glendale from scoring.
For the Cardinals, 1st and 10, they have to march in 4 minutes. Rolling, throwing, intercepted. Picked off by Chris Waring. Waring continues to move and crosses the 35 to the 30 down to the 27-yard line.
Well, he had a lot of pressure put on by Sunnyslope. That's what basically caused that interception. He just threw it up for anybody to grab, unfortunately. You hate to see that, but even a John Elway does that.
That was a kind of a pass that a quarterback with some experience will not throw that pass.
There was nobody there. Nobody's home.
Or he'll overthrow everybody. So the Vikings, as we take a look at that move, and it was a nice move inside by the running back Chris Waring, who caught the interception. There's Lowell Howard, 24 carries, 208 yards. Again, a keeper by Chad Bilbrey. There's head coach Tom Hernandez of the Glendale Cardinals. He still would like to have that ball back again. So on that run, no gain. 2nd and 10.
Cardinal defense tonight is allowing an average of 6.8 yards per carry and 12.5 yards per reception.
Well, there were 2 receptions for 25 yards, and that was about it, 2 out of 4. Chad Bilbrey still calling the plays. Movement on the line by the Vikings. Number 76, Chuck Irwin, an offensive tackle. 198-pounder, cost him 5 yards.
The time running down to the 3-minute mark, Harry.
Cardinal defense.
It's definitely got to do something right here to cause a turnover.
They have
get
to
the ball back.
Stop the Vikings on this set of downs. And then get the ball back and march downfield quickly. 2nd and 15. Back to pass. Bilbrey incomplete. Roth got his hand in there just in time to knock the ball out of the hands of Kevin Dyer, the intended receiver. Bilbrey has now hit 2 out of 5.
We got an injured Cardinal player on the field, too. Number 80, it looks like. Andy Harrington.
Let's take a look at the play.
I could
again.
be wrong on the number there, Harry.
There's the pass over the middle. Look at Harrington get his hand in there. A good block. All right. Well, we got injured player on the field while we're waiting to get him back in line again. Reminder that the high school football game of the week brought to you in part by AMCO, AA MCO for all your transmission needs. New home concepts. Instead of traveling all over the valley, just go to Metro Center near Broadway and see all the homes at one location. By San Chevrolet, you go. Look at the 1989 vehicles there and you'll get a good deal from the Ugly Buzzard with beautiful deals. And Big Bill's Deals and Wheels for all your wheels needs and repairs. They're on Glendale Avenue, just east of 27th Avenue. And the Glendale players still on the ground. And take a look at the Crow's Nest. Remind you that the remaining games for both of these teams, for Glendale, they're going to play Miami next week at home. Then they go on the road for their final 2 games at Prescott and at Independence. Also, for the visiting team, the Sunnyslope Vikings. Sunnyslope will finish their season next week. They're going to be playing against Tolleson at home, then at Independence on the road, and they come home to finish the season with Prescott. So Sunnyslope doesn't have an easy go at all either.
Yeah, it was number 60, rather. I was wrong on the number. Ricky Broughton, nose guard, was injured, not number 80.
Had a little bit of the wind knocked out of him there.
He's got a smile on his face. He's okay.
Yeah, a little bit. Next week, we're going to have a big football game. Number 1, St. Mary's against Apollo, who tonight is playing Thunderbird. And Apollo head coach said, I think we're going to win tonight. So let's find out if Apollo does. We may have at least a team that has 1 victory against a team that hasn't lost a game yet. But when St. Mary's plays at Apollo, you can throw the book away. All right, 3rd down and 15. Back to pass. Bilbrey throwing on the near side, and it falls incomplete. Ball was intended on the near side for his brother, Ryan Bilbrey. And it's a 4th down.
And we got another injured player. Unfortunately, looks like Robert Ramirez, one of the linebackers, a little slow to get up, and looks like he's going to be coming out of the game.
Well, the defender on that play, Mike Castrovinci,
here he comes,
stayed on top of it. The Glendale Cardinals now with a 4th down defensive block, and see what they can do to get the football back with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Well, if they tie it up, we have what they call the Arizona overtime. Is that right?
That's right. Each team has 4 plays to go downfield, and the Vikings will keep it. 4th and 15. They're going to keep it. Eat up more time on the clock. Handoff. There goes the play that they used for a touchdown. The ball goes to Howard. Howard does not get the 1st down, so Glendale will get the ball back near the 20. They'll mark it at the 23-yard line. A pickup of 9 yards by Howard on the 4th down play.
Well, now you know that Sunnyslope's going to expect them to mix it up a little bit with those short passes, and they're going to be covering those zones a little bit, not allowing them to have the 10 to 15-yard passes. Now it's time maybe for Glendale to go deep, because you expect the Sunnyslope to prevent those short passes.
Let's watch this play again. It's worked a lot tonight. Lowell Howard on the outside. He's now got 217 yards on 25 carries. All right, 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Roth at quarterback from the 23. rolling to his right, looking, throws in the middle, intercepted. The first play intercepted right over the middle by Mike Fitzgerald.
Number 51, I thought it was 61. Well, like we said,
one pass, one interception, that's it. The coach just threw his papers and everything out on the field, one of the assistant coaches, and he's not too happy about what was going on here.
Well, we knew that was unfortunately going to happen. There it is.
And the Vikings, with 1 minute, 30 seconds left, has the football back at the 23-yard line.
And I'm sure they're probably just content to run the clock out somewhat.
There's Chad Roth. He's hit 5 out of 12, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 75 yards. He did not do that bad, except when he rushed his last 2 passes. That's what hurt.
Well, that'll come with experience.
And the Vikings now call a timeout with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. They can eat up the clock here. The score, Sunnyslope 21, Glendale 14. We'll be back with more football right after this.
This is Al McCoy, and let me introduce you to Max's, the place for good sports, good food, and good friends. The private banquet room at Max's is home for alumni and booster groups, even wedding receptions. But for you sports fans, Max's is special. Whatever sports is in season, you'll see them all. Over 150 live TV sporting events each week. Max's is the home of the world's largest football helmet display. Bring your appetite for lunch and dinner with the best pork tenderloin sandwich west of Iowa. Max's, 47th Avenue, a block south of Glendale.
When it comes to defining value, Larry Miller Chrysler Plymouth Mazda in Glendale means double value. Double your value with the best of both imports and domestics. Twice the selection, twice the savings, twice the luxury, and twice the fun. And service, double it. Service and parts are open 6 days a week, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Double value. Larry Miller Chrysler Plymouth Mazda, the value store.
Well, there's 2 timeouts remaining for both sides, 1 minute 20 left. They're going to be content to keep it on the ground. Handoff up the middle for the Vikings goes to Willis. Tim Willis, and a timeout by Glendale. A pickup of maybe 5 yards on the play. So with timeout again on the field by the Glendale Cardinals, 1 minute 14 seconds remaining. It's Sunnyslope 21, Glendale 14. Back with more right after this.
Back to school means back to band at Arizona Music Center, your one-stop music store. Serving the Valley since 19... Arizona Music Center is the Basins musical instruments, sheet music, rentals, repairs, supplies, and music videos. For more information, call 934-3273 or visit Arizona Music Center, 4734 West Glendale Avenue.
Well, with 1 minute 14 remaining, we take a look at the ambulance that stands by at all the football games, just in case, and we're glad we haven't had to use it tonight. It's a 2nd and 10. There was a penalty before that first play. And a handoff up the middle for a gain of maybe 2 yards. A short gain for Tim Willis, and the Cardinals will call another timeout. 2 more yards for Willis. That puts the Viking ground game at 300 yards.
Again, it looks like it's time for Glendale to pull off a miracle with a minute left, even tie the game. They have to cause some sort of fumble and run it back, intercept, run it back. They need that big play, but Sunnyslope, I'm sure, is content to keep it on the ground. Glendale knows that. Now they've got to tackle that ball, get that ball out of his hands.
325 yards total offense for Sunnyslope. And 173 of that in the second half. They had 152 in the first half. There's Lowell Howard, 25 carries, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns. What an average, 8.7.
He's had a good night.
Hey, third down and 8 from the 20. 1 minute, 7 seconds left. Handoff up the middle, same play. And a pickup of 2 more yards for Willis. And they're letting the clock run down. There's no more timeouts left for the Cardinals. Counting down to 45 seconds, and at the end of the game, we're going to go down to the football field and talk to Tim Evans, the head coach of the Vikings. It was a tough football game. And there's a penalty for delay of game as they count down to 25 seconds. That's the 9th penalty against Sunnyslope. 70 yards against them. 5 turnovers. And now Sunnyslope's calling a timeout charged against them with 25 seconds left.
That's strange.
Really strange. One more play and that's the end of the game. I don't know if they want to try something fancy or not.
Well, you would look for them maybe to try to do some sort of razzle-dazzle trick here, but hey, those type of plays, if it gets intercepted, sometimes can backfire against you.
Well, they lead by 7, so if Glendale gets a football back, I think the only thing they can do here is just fall on the football and let the clock run out. Because they have a 4th down and long situation if the marker is correct. Well, the marker where the man has 4th down is definitely not on the line of scrimmage.
And they're set up just to fall down on it, too.
Now the referee is moving him where it belongs, back to the line of scrimmage. And Bilbrey should just safely hold the football and fall on it. No, he's back to pass. This could be something. And it's complete for a touchdown to Kevin Dyer. A 20-yard pass to Kevin Dyer for a touchdown. And Sunnyslope just rolling it up. There's a flag thrown.
It's going to
be a little bit too much exuberance. I didn't expect him to do that, to eat up the clock.
Well, like you said, they called it. You're surprised that they would try to run up the score like that, but I guess every point counts, right?
Well, there's 19 seconds left now. And Bilbrey will kick the extra point. There's a snap. The boot is up. And it is good with 19 seconds left on the clock. The score is Sunnyslope 28, Glendale 14. And we'll be back with the final 19 seconds right after this.
Why should you read the Glendale Star? The Star will keep you informed about the issues that affect you and your community. You can meet some of the interesting people who live and work in Glendale through the Glendale Star. Keep up to date on what's happening in Glendale with the Glendale Star, the official newspaper for the city of Glendale. Every Wednesday and Friday from Pueblo Publishers. Pick up a copy today. The Glendale Star.
On the kickoff for the Vikings. The kickoff to the Cardinals. Lee gets the football, and he is just barreled under as he crosses the 40. There's 11 seconds left. Time is not on their side. There's head coach Tom Hernandez. Thought maybe he had the football game in hand, and all of a sudden it slipped away. And the Sunnyslope Vikings just took advantage of that one. And with 19 seconds left, 25 seconds left, they threw a pass
may not even get a playoff, Harry.
And the clock is running down. 4, 3,
Nope,
2,
won't get it off.
1. There's the snap. They got it off. Roth rolling, looking, throwing a long pass. Receiver is there, and it's intercepted on the last second, and there's the end of your ball game. The last 3 passes by Chad Roth were all intercepted. And the Glendale Cardinals had to take a tough one by a score of 28-14 as Sunnyslope came from behind in the 4th quarter with 21 points. 2 big runs by Howard and a pass by Bilbrey to Dyer to make it 28-14. Total offense 347 for the Vikings. The Cardinals 193, and it was definitely a close football game until the final couple of minutes.
Well, again, you know, you looked around here when Glendale finally took the lead in the 3rd quarter, scoring 14 points, and fans are going, yeah, we're going to win one, we're going to win one. But as the old adage goes, it ain't over till it's over, and you got to play all 4 quarters. And what looked promising in the 3rd quarter didn't happen in the 4th. It's too bad.
Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to run down on the football field and interview the winning coach, Tim Evans, and we'll find out what his thinking was right there at the end of the football game. We'll be back with our post-game program right after this.
Of all the Japanese serviced by AMCO dealers,
And it goes on and on. They have their own people who are specialized in surveillances, in photography, and in assassinations.
After this commercial break, we're going to have the anatomy of a satanic crime, showing you why law enforcement has had such a difficult time coming to grips with the strange, shadowy world of satanic crime. Stay with us.
From John Carpenter. They control what you see.
We have been lulled into a trance.
They decide what you hear.
Wake up! They're all about you, all around you.
You think they're people, just like you.
What do these things want, and why are they here?
You're wrong. Dead wrong. John Carpenter's They Live. Rated R. Starts Friday, November 4th at theaters everywhere.
Lean pockets fit with your style. Hot numbers like these, only 300 calories. Lean pockets, a meal, great taste when you have no time to waste. Get into Lean Pockets.
Introducing a totally new kind of antiperspirant protection that glides on. New crystal clear Arid Glide On. Not a crumbly stick, not a drippy roll-on. New clear Arid Glide On. Clear Arid protection that glides on.
Tonight,
I want to help you.
You'll be introduced to Jack Killian.
I want to understand.
Get in.
He's the best cop in the city.
If you love your wife, how can you love me too?
She's killed 6 guys in the last 9 months.
I don't love you.
But even the best cop.
It's too bad because I loved you.
Can't be everywhere until now.
You want me to do a radio show?
We're pleased to introduce you to Jack Killian.
If the caller becomes abusive or obscene, you have enough time to cut him off.
What if I become abusive or obscene?
Is it true what they say about cops and bad?
You're on the air. There's never been a beat like this.
He just wanted fast food sex.
So you don't really sound like my idea of a fun date.
Looks like we have a serial killer on our hands.
An entire city becomes one man's stakeout.
Jack, what do you think you're doing?
There's a psycho killer out there on the loose.
Please listen carefully.
And if you're listening, lady,
Jack?
you can turn yourself into me anytime.
He'll take you from the streets to the air.
I did it again.
Where are you?
The next generation of television drama begins.
If you want ratings, I'll give you ratings.
She's in the building!
With the premiere of Midnight Caller next.
One reason we think you haven't heard more about them is that many satanic crimes are simply not recognized as such. Take a look at this report, please. These ritualistic crimes are everywhere, and yet in most communities they are either overlooked or underreported. There's an example going on right now here in Kansas City that tells us why. In this house, in a quiet residential neighborhood, a series of brutally violent, horrible crimes have been committed. And yet the police and prosecutor in this town seem either unable or unwilling to draw the obvious connection between what happened here and Satanism.
All I know is the whole thing was evil.
This 22-year-old, call him Jay, escaped from the House of Horrors wearing only a dog collar. For 4 days, he had been ritualistically tortured by a man named Bob Burdella.
He took the transformer and hooked it to my genitals and stepped back and took pictures while I'm flopping around.
What a sick dog.
It seemed to never end, you know.
After Jay escaped through a window by burning the ropes that bound him to the bed, the police arrested Burdella. When they searched his home, they found over 250 photographs of young men, including Jay, in the process of being tortured, in some cases fatally. Hidden in the walls of the home, they also found a human skull.
He had pictures of guys that he had did things to. Kids tied up and with marks on them and things.
Apparently, Burdella would pick up young men, usually hustlers like Joe, many of them runaways who cluster in Kansas City's Strip.
I need $25 so you can
For a small amount of money, these kids go anywhere to do anything with anyone. Unfortunately, some went home with Burdella, whose involvement with devil worship was easily apparent. There was, for example, a satanic symbol on the outside wall of his house. His business card seemed straight from hell, and he ran this macabre shop of horrors, possibly stocking it with his own unique hobby. By agreement with the district attorney, Burdella was allowed to plead to 1 count of murder. He received a life sentence, but many people in this community are outraged that the investigation went no further. Did the police pursue these allegations of satanic involvement?
The police department, it's my understanding, called in some people who knew about witchcraft to talk to them about that. That particular aspect of the case basically went nowhere.
County legislator Carol Cole disagrees. Why do you think that there is no attention being paid to that ritual aspect of this case?
You're in the heart of America, the Bible Belt, and we hate to think that people like that live next door to us. We're turning our backs on acting like it doesn't happen. We're putting our hands over our eyes as if it didn't occur here, that it was just a murder.
This is Detective Lee Orr of the neighboring Kansas City, Kansas Police Department. Do you believe there is a satanic aspect to these horrible crimes?
Yes, I'm sure there is, yes. We've also had contact with people that have come out of the occult, Satan worship, who have definitely made statements and who I've interviewed that state that Mr. Burdella was involved at a higher level than most in the occult.
If these allegations exist, as we merit to you that they do, isn't it reasonable that if you pursued them with vigor, you might find evidence that could pin more of these crimes on this man, that might help solve some of the cases of missing children and missing young adults that you have in this and surrounding communities?
There isn't any question that if there are people who have information about him being involved in witchcraft or Satanism, and that information has not been given to us, that we would love to have it because it would be further leads that we could follow.
Here perhaps are some leads for investigators to follow. Item: police reports obtained by us show local authorities have long been aware that devil worshippers were conducting large-scale ceremonies in the Kansas City area. Item: this young man says he was an eyewitness to a sexual orgy at Burdella's house, one with heavy satanic overtones. And item: this woman claims she met Burdella through her former husband, a high priest in a local satanic cult.
We were at a meeting in the area, and he was up on the platform in a throne, which symbolizes that that sacrifice at that particular meeting was for him, was done for him.
So he was in an exalted position. He was a VIP.
Yes, he was.
What happened there at that ceremony?
There was a young man killed, a young boy. He was 16 years old.
Did you ever tell the police about any of this?
No, I didn't.
Why?
People don't believe you when you talk about these things. People just do not believe these things happen.
Remember, Aside from the torture and sodomy of Jay, who escaped, Burdella has pled guilty to just one murder, a runaway whose skull was found inside his house. A second murder charge is pending. Yet police sources tell us Burdella is suspected in at least 7 homicides. When they excavated his backyard, they found remains of 3 people. Paul Howell believes his missing 19-year-old son was among them.
They found a head right up here, I believe.
A skull?
A skull right up in this area somewhere.
It is one thing for law enforcement to be uninformed. It's quite another, though, for them to refuse to follow known leads. Paul Howell alleges they did exactly that, with the information he provided from his own investigation. For 3 years, he says, he begged them to investigate Burdella's suspected connection with his boy's disappearance.
I dug through it trash and found different things. At one time, I thought it was dog remains. Later on, after the investigation, the police come in 3 years later. I found out that this is the way they said Bob disposed of some of the waste of the human remain. He put them in dog food bags and set them out in the trash.
What must it be like to a father to think that his own son was disposed of in pieces in someone's garbage?
It's just very upsetting, naturally, and want to get even. You want to find everybody that's involved beside Bob and hope that it don't happen to anybody else's kids.
It apparently also happened to Harriet's kid, Bonnie's husband James, who disappeared in 1985.
When James first disappeared even, we begged him to do something to go in Burdella's house to get a search warrant for any reason to try to find my son in there, because it had been told to us that he was possibly chained up in the house in there.
Photographs of James' tortured, apparently murdered body were among those seized by police.
Will you charge Burdella with the murder of James Ferris?
That is not something that I can tell you yes or no.
Will you charge Burdella with the murder of Jerry Howell?
And again, I can't tell you whether or not there will be charges brought against Mr. Burdella or anybody else for the murder of Mr. Howell.
Is it possible that by narrowing the focus of the investigation, people who are involved in these awful acts are still free?
Yes, there's no question about it. You cannot subdue individuals and photograph them, and you're in the photos by yourself. So there is a great implication that somebody else that participated in this is still at loose, and they're at large in this city, and you're going to be reading about it again in another 12 or 16 months.
I hope she's not right, but stand up. This is Detective Sergeant Lee Orr from the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department. You saw him in the video piece. This is retired Detective Michael McKee of the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. Gentlemen, the Kansas City Star is reporting as late as yesterday that the district attorney in your community is still insisting that the Burdella case of serial murders or alleged serial murders is not related to Satanism, is not a ritual crime. You were one of the first cops on the scene. Do you believe that this case is satanically related?
It's my opinion that it is. We recovered a ceremonial robe from the bedroom. When we excavated the backyard and dug up the skull in the backyard, it was buried with a jar of feathers and had some burnt wood with it. We also recovered numerous books on the occult from the residence of Mr. Burdella.
Now, whether these cases are not being treated as ritual crimes because of embarrassment to the community or because it's easier for cops just to prosecute them as simple homicides, we don't know. Coming up next, we have talked in this program so far, and you have heard the words about child abuse. A woman by the name of Cheryl Horton and others tell an even more grotesque story, ladies and gentlemen. Having babies to be turned over for human sacrifice to Satan. And we'll deal with that when we come back.
And fighting disease. The Peace Corps is leaving behind more than a new crop, a new forest, or a nourished child. It's leaving behind people you've helped to help themselves, shaping their future as well as your own. No matter what your skill, you don't know how much you have to offer until you offer it. Take home a world of experience and leave behind something that will last for generations. Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
I think sometimes that, ironically, on television, when you give a disclaimer, it has exactly the opposite to the intended effect, and more people tune in than tune out. I'm going to say this as straight as I possibly can. I am begging you, if you're a parent and you've got kids there, that this subject is just too upsetting for your young children. Please get them out of the room or change the station. We urge you to exercise parental discretion. It has been established, as you have already seen on this program, in courts of law now, that human sacrifice is sometimes an element in rituals performed by people calling themselves Satanists. There is no longer any doubt about that, though just how often it actually is done is obviously impossible to know. The ideal sacrifice, we are told, apparently requires babies. And there are those people in satanic sex, including mothers who have belonged, who tell of babies being bred for sacrifice. Take a look, please.
Read what they do, Guy. They use blood in their rituals, and the blood that has the most power is baby's blood.
In the classic horror film Rosemary's Baby, Mia Farrow is drawn into the clutches of a satanic cult and is married to the devil.
This is no dream. This is really happening.
She conceives the Antichrist, providing the group with a living symbol of Satan to be worshipped and adored.
God is dead! Satan lives!
As sickening and unbelievable as it sounds, bearing children for use in satanic rituals may really be happening.
My daughter, who I named Wendy, was sacrificed at birth with an upside-down cross and then taken outside and buried. My son, they kept and let live till 2 years old, and then he was sacrificed.
Michael and I had a son, and he was dedicated to Satan at birth, and at 6 months of age, he was sacrificed to Satan.
It is most common for the heart to be taken from the child and offered to Satan.
These women say they speak from personal experience. They claim to be breeders, forced by covens to bear children, both as a way for the cults to get new members and to find fresh victims for ritual murder.
Did you give birth to infants who were sacrificed?
My first two.
Were sacrificed?
Were sacrificed. I was told it was the highest honor I could ever do as a woman, was to sacrifice my first two.
And you did that?
I was so brainwashed, I believed their philosophy.
Jackie tells us she was able to escape her satanic cult. Today she helps other women, like Donna, who are trying to break free.
You killed your babies?
Take the skin off.
You skin the baby? You take the baby's skin off? Do you feel remorse? Have you told the police?
I had to do what I had to do, or I'd be killed like the babies that they made me watch killed, and that they put in my hand. They said, "Obey, or this is you."
Jackie, you have some pictures drawn during the therapy sessions by the people who've been through this. Why don't you show me some of them?
This picture is a person remembering skinning children and babies and hanging it out to dry. And
Skinning?
Skinning them, taking the skin off alive while they are alive, and skin them until they die.
And that's how your babies died?
They took a little patch about 3 by 4 off of her stomach, skinned her, and said, "We'll skin you all the way if you talk or cry." You learn not to cry real fast.
I don't cry.
For their part, mainstream Satanists strongly deny these gruesome allegations. Zena is the daughter of Anton LaVey, founder of the modern-day Church of Satan.
That's a popular misconception, too, is that children are sacrificed at the altar, or that animals are used for sacrifices. And it's a horrible, horrible misconception.
This is real hard for the police because they can never find proof, and that's because the bodies are sometimes consumed for communion, sometimes burnt, sometimes put in concrete.
For proof, the women offered a few grisly photos. But as the Satanists are quick to point out, the images of death and decay are impossible to verify.
These middle-class housewives that are worried that we want to abduct their children are barking up the wrong tree because we wouldn't want anything to do with their whole mediocre and corrupt lifestyle.
Because the charges are so bizarre, most mental health professionals distance themselves from the entire area of Satanism. But here in Denver, Colorado, the Bethesda Psychiatric Institute has become the first in the country to devote an entire department to treating the victims of ritual crime.
Can we believe these stories of sacrifice?
I believe we need to believe them. They sound bizarre. They sound beyond the capacity of human beings. But the stories we receive are tremendously consistent.
Is this an epidemic?
I believe involvement in Satanism is increasing. I believe it is present in many communities around our country, and I believe it demands our attention.
But somebody is apparently trying to discourage scrutiny. We've talked to therapists who treat ritual abuse victims, and they tell us of the threats they've received.
I have direct knowledge of both death threats on a therapist and an attempt to end that therapist's life, which was unsuccessful.
Here in Chicago, a group of well-known therapists from all over the country had the courage to share horror stories of threats and intimidation.
Therapists have been directly threatened in ways that are quite alarming to them.
The patient indicated to me that she wished to sacrifice the child with which she was pregnant. Naturally, I wasn't too enthusiastic about this. Shortly after this occurred, I started to get telephone death threats.
One of the things that I would add is that we are now hearing these reports from literally hundreds of therapists in every part of the United States.
Someone out there is telling us to back off.
Still, the greatest toll seems to be on the women who say that they have bred babies. Babies that were sacrificed for Satan.
I will probably have nightmares tonight about it, as I have about my Joey that I have been talking about. I wake up screaming for him now in the middle of the night. I dream that he's lost and I'm trying to find him.
Sickening, so incredibly outrageous, so incredibly unbelievable. But Zena LeVay, are these women lying?
You have to understand that everything, every single thing you've given as examples of Satanism here are completely from a Christian standpoint. That everything you've put forth as being considered satanic is not considered satanic by my standard or my definition of Satanism.
Lying?
Well, have the bodies been found? Where are they?
Cheryl Horton, who joins us via satellite from Los Angeles. Cheryl Horton. Zena LeVay, a Satanist who A, points out that this is not in keeping with her teaching, but B says, where is the proof? Where is the proof? Why is there no proof if what you're saying is true?
Hi, Geraldo. There's no proof for a fact of one thing. They burn the bodies. They either do that, they'll chop them up and dump them in the ocean, or they'll pour them in concrete, or they take and they use them for communion and eat them and then make bones out of the tools.
Cheryl, listen.
These
The
people
stories,
are doing
listen,
murders.
let me interrupt you. Cheryl, please, let me interrupt you. The stories dump in the ocean, chop up the bodies, these things, they sound like they can't be happening. Ted Gunnarsson, respected law enforcement professional, recently or retired now from the FBI, former regional director of Los Angeles. Do you, sir, believe that these dreadful allegations of babies being sacrificed are true?
I absolutely believe it, without any doubt. Based on the information that's been given to me across the country by numerous survivors and by confidential sources and informants.
Then why didn't you name these people and arrest them? Never a name, never an arrest. These women come out of a group and they insist that they know the people in the group, and yet they do not identify these large mysterious cults. Name them and arrest them and get them off the street.
Does he not make a valid point?
He makes a valid point. The problem with that is, number one, police officers don't believe it. I may believe it. You may believe it. Some people in your audience may believe it. They don't believe it. Number two, if you decide to investigate these people, you have to, number one, handle it from an undercover operation. If you put an undercover operation into effect, then you have, in a sense, your own police officers become involved in these heinous crimes, and they are, of course, become murderers. And in addition to that, if you do decide to investigate these people, it's a lot of work. And many law enforcement officers are apathetic and don't want to get involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard this. The debate here could rage over this issue alone for hours and hours and hours. Michael Aquino is right when he says there have not been any successful prosecutions for this horrible allegation. Ted Gunnarsson is a sincere man with a good reputation who says that there are difficulties in the prosecution. Still, the point is it has never been proven in a court of law. Obviously, it needs more investigation, but if these things are happening, then there should be a national task force of federal and state and local cops working together to prove or disprove. Because this is just unacceptable, this impasse. Coming up, we're going to have warning signs you should watch for, parents, and all of our guests will be available for a final discussion about Satanism after this break.
One shocking capital crime
We're breaking in. We've got an assassination in Washington.
triggers one man's rise to power.
There he is, Sam. That's our man.
Because he's capable?
Because he's famous.
Terry Fallon was just another young senator until an assassin's bullet made him a desperate president's last hope.
What kind of a man is he? What's he made of? Same thing all good running mates are made of. Ink.
Now Sally Crane, Fallon's press aide and lover, will do anything to help put her...
Changes in school action of parental values. Unusual interest in books on Satanism, black magic, or witchcraft. Obsession with rock music groups using satanic symbols or references. Rejection of friends. Preference for being alone. Meditation, chanting, use of new vocabulary. The Geraldo Rivera special, Devil Worship, will continue.
An all-new Wednesday begins with a ghostly Unsolved Mysteries. Then it's two spectacular premieres beginning with a special one-hour night court premiere. Is Dan really dead, or is it just a snow job?
What did I do to deserve this?
Then the premiere of the most romantic, revealing, unpredictable hero.
Tried to have me killed.
Of Tattingers on an all-new Wednesday.
Hi, folks, I'm Tex Earnhardt, and I guarantee you that ain't no bull. Folks, I'd like to tell you about our full-service auto centers throughout the valley. Did you know right here at Baseline Rural that we handle Ford, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Suzuki, and that you can buy a brand new car for as low as $49.95. Now I want my son Jim to tell you about our new Jeep Eagle store over in Scottsdale.
That's right, on Scottsdale Road. Folks, did you know you can save up to $5,500 on a brand new Jeep? And don't forget our RV Center out on Main Street in Mesa, where we have Winnebago, Southwind, and all the other top name brands. And folks, we have brand new units starting as low as $69.95. Now here's my brother Hal.
And our auto center on Country Club just south of Baseline, we have Dodge, Yugo, and Daihatsu. And did you know you can buy a new car here for as low as $44.95? And don't forget Earnhardt's Direct Connection in Chandler or our new pre-owned center out in Apache Junction. Remember, Earnhardt's Auto Centers.
Our entire family has a great time when we go to Garcia's Mexican restaurants. The people are so nice. Laura's our favorite waitress. No matter how many times she tells my husband the plate's hot, he still has to touch it.
Garcia's, when you know beans about Mexican food. There are 6 Garcias in the Phoenix area, including 7th Street and Missouri and 44th Street and Camelback.
A $14 million facelift for Wrigley Field. That's the story tonight on 12 Sports.
Father LeBar, from the point of view of the Catholic Church, is this something Catholic parents, and I'm not singling out the Roman Catholic faith, obviously this affects children of all races, colors, creeds, religions. It seems particularly strong, as you've seen over the course of the last 2 hours, to be very strong in the so-called Bible Belt among fundamentalist Christians. But from the point of view of the Roman Catholic Church, is this something for parents to be concerned about?
Something very much for parents to be concerned about, because in our Catholic theology, we know the power of the devil. We know the influence that the devil can have directly and indirectly. And whether you want to deny it as the Church of Satan people want to do or call it by another name, it doesn't matter. It's the power of evil, the force of evil, and it's that thing which disrupts ordinary human life, which as we've seen happening so often. So it is necessary for parents to beware and be
Dr.
careful.
Aquino, is it the force of evil? Does it disrupt? Is it a force for everything negative?
Well, if you're talking about Satanism as legitimate Satanists define it, absolutely not. It is ethical, it is above ground, it is positive. If you are talking about the devil as it is defined by religions such as Father Labar's, then it is, in fact, a symbol of degenerate behavior, and this is part of our problem tonight.
Should we have warnings, sir, the way we do on cigarette packs, for people coming into your houses of worship? Warning, this sect may be dangerous to your health and the health of the people you know.
No, because in the case of the Temple of Set and the Church of Satan, we have not had any problems with criminal behavior. Among
and
other
yet when you
things,
hear story after story after story of people committing these wretched crimes, these violent crimes in the devil's name,
you find one common thread to that all these people that you've shown tonight come from a background in which their moral instruction has been from a religious tradition other than ours. It may be Father Labar's, it may be some other mainstream one, but it is not that of Satanism.
Sean Sellers, condemned to die by lethal injection because of the murder of your mother, your stepfather, and a convenience store clerk. You've heard the Satanists say that it is not the teaching that is wrong, it is the person that's wrong. Are you using Satanism as a cover for your violence?
No, I'm not. I've heard quite a few, well, I can call them as lies on the show right now. I've heard Dr. Aquino say that Satanism is not, or the ideals that we're talking about here are not Satanism. That is because Satanists believe that good is evil and evil is good. And so, of course, they're not the ideals that he believes in. He believes that evil is good. That is what I believed in. I heard him say that the Satanic Bible is not to be taken literally. But I talked to a 16-year-old boy yesterday who takes the Satanic Bible literally. I've been working with a lot of ministries around the United States trying to get and help people get out of the occult. He takes the Satanic Bible literally. I took it literally. A lot of people are taking the Satanic Bible literally. And I heard Anton LaVey's daughter say that these babies who are being sacrificed, you know, that's not Satanism. Or she wouldn't answer to saying that it was. The fact of the matter is that kids are abducted, teenagers are drawn into the occult, and a lot of them are being used for occult sacrifices. And there's been so much on the show that you've shown so much pain and blood and all this other gore and stuff, but you really haven't shown how to get out of the occult for those who want to get out. There is, let me tell you a story about a friend of mine.
Tell it briefly, Sean, go ahead.
Just give me 1.5 minutes.
Go ahead.
Her name is, well, anyway, she works with the Watch Network in Texas, and she told me that a lady called her and said, my daughter's involved in Satanism and I want her to get out, but I don't want her to become some kind of Jesus freak or anything like that. Sue told her, I'm sorry, I can't help you. A month later, the girl was living with her aunt and uncle because her mother was in an insane asylum and she was threatening to kill her aunt and uncle.
What's your point, Sean?
She destroyed 3 lives, her mother's, herself, and her aunt and uncle's, because she didn't want her mother didn't want her to become a Jesus freak. I want to tell you right now, there is no other way out of Satanism except through Jesus Christ.
Do you believe in the devil to this day?
I believe in the devil, but I don't worship the devil. I'm a Christian. I stand up boldly and proudly and proclaim my faith in Jesus. I'm telling you, there is no way out of Satanism except through Christ.
Do you feel a sense of frustration that people don't believe you when you talk about what happened to your daughter?
Yes, I do. The problem